If I had one advice to give to every married man, including myself, this is what I would tell you. As much as possible, do your best to treat your wife well, to please her and to keep her happy. Do not grieve her soul. Why, you may ask? Because the biggest mistake that any man can ever make in the sight of God is to make his wife cry. I can assure you, you will not go unpunished for that. You need to understand two things: that your wife is either a blessing or she can be a curse. She will be a curse to you when you treat her bad or when you mistreat her. But she will be a blessing to you when you treat her well. You see, the Bible says that wives are our helpers. You cannot mistreat your helper and you expect that things will still go well with you. When you mistreat her, you are playing on your own blessing. She will be like a curse to you. That's why I've had so many men complain that their wives could be bewitching them, or their wives could be praying bad for them. Your wife does not have to pray bad for you or to bewitch you for things to go bad with you. You just have to mistreat her. When you mistreat your wife, you invite misfortune to yourself. The Bible says in 1 Peter chapter 3 and verses 7 that husbands dwell with them according to understanding, giving honor to the wife as unto a weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. Now, imagine yourself that every prayer you make in the sight of God, it is hindered. Do you know how that will affect your business? Do you know how that will affect your life? Do you know how that will affect your ministry? So many men think they are being bewitched when actually what is happening is that they are mistreating their wives. When you mistreat your wife, you invite a curse onto your life. Then the Bible also says in Malachi chapter 2 and verses 13 that here is another thing you do. You cover the Lord's altar with tears, weeping and groaning, because he pays no attention to your offerings and he does not accept them with pleasure. So the first thing that the Lord does when you mistreat your wife is that he hinders your prayers. Now the second thing is that he refuses to accept your offering. You just imagine, the Bible says, blessed are the hands which give than the ones which take. Now instead of you receiving a blessing for your giving, you receive nothing. So your giving is in vain. I have a friend who keeps on telling us that every time they had issues with his wife, his monies were affected. It affects you. I can assure you there are so many men I have seen over time who used to mistreat their wives. Today, they are broke. These were men who were so prosperous, but today they are struggling financially. Today they are like beggars. Why? They mistreated their wives. We all saw it. They cheated on them. They never took care of them. They never even returned home to them. They kept these women wondering. Every time your wife cries, it affects you. So many of you used to be very good husbands until you got money. When you got money, you changed. This woman stood by you when you're broke. And now today, because you've gotten money, you're throwing her out. Never use your money to mistreat a person, because God will take away that money from you. Never use your power to mistreat your wife, because God will take it away from you. So if I had to speak to men, I'll tell them, do everything else, but don't hurt your wife. Mess up in other areas, but don't mess up in this area. This is very dangerous for you. Don't try it. If you have been doing it, it's important that you begin to reconcile with your wife. So many of you are cheating on your wives and you think it's okay. You are joking, it's not okay. Things are going to turn around. And the one who used to make people cry will be the one crying. And guess what? God will not be listening. Stay blessed.